There comes a time in every man's life when silence gets louder, when solitude becomes sacred, and when pain stops being the enemy and becomes the compass. You've reached that time now. This is your turning point. Not everyone gets here. Many stay in the loops, chasing attention, love, approval, pretending their wounds are healed while bleeding on everything they touch. But you somehow stumbled upon awareness, and from this point on, you're either reborn or you remain a ghost of who you could have been. 1. The collapse is not the end. It's the threshold. You may have been broken recently. Maybe she left without closure. Maybe they lied to your face and smiled like nothing happened. Maybe you're at your lowest, financially, mentally, spiritually. And yet, you're breathing. You're watching this. That means one thing. You're still here. Stoics teach, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Life dragged you to this cliff, not to end you, but to force you to choose. Cling to the past, or jump into who you're meant to become. This moment isn't your downfall, it's your initiation. 2. Kill the version of you that kept you small. The man who begged, the man who explained himself, the man who wanted to be liked. He must die, because that version of you was a slave to external noise. Every smile, every compliment, every text, it became validation fuel. But Stoic power begins the moment you realize you don't need to be liked. You need to be respected by yourself. This is the part where you go silent, where you disappear from what doesn't align, where you stop reacting and start observing. Your mind is no longer a playground. It becomes a fortress. 3. Detachment is the Stoic man's weapon. Detachment isn't about being cold. It's about being unbreakable. When you're attached to outcomes, to people, to emotions, you're in chains. You become predictable, weak, manipulatable. But when you detach, their silence becomes irrelevant. Their approval becomes meaningless. Their drama dies at your indifference. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now, you start to pull back, not because you're scared, but because you're focused. You don't need their attention. You're becoming the kind of man they can't ignore anyway. 4. The silence after rejection is more powerful than words. She ghosted you. He betrayed you. They doubted you. You could have begged. You could have explained. But instead, you chose silence. And in that moment, you flipped the script. Because the Stoic man doesn't give reactions. He gives consequences. Your silence is unsettling. It echoes louder than your words ever could. They thought you'd be broken. Instead, you vanished into your mission. 5. From emotion to execution. Feelings are valid, but they're not always useful. Modern men drown in emotion because they're never taught how to channel it. You're angry? Good. Train harder. You're heartbroken? Good. Grind smarter. You're disappointed? Good. Go ghost and level up. Your new identity doesn't feel through every storm. It moves through them. In Stoicism, action is the antidote. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. So don't argue. Don't announce. Just become. 6. You're not a victim. You're a strategist. Now victims react. Men of power strategize. You're not here to complain about what happened. You're here to weaponize it. She used you. Now you understand manipulation. They left you. Now you know loyalty can't be assumed. You failed publicly. Now your skin is bulletproof. Use everything. Nothing is wasted for the man who studies pain. 7. Turn pain into code. Here's what most won't admit. The most disciplined, attractive, magnetic men on this planet are built from chaos. Rejection sharpened them. Betrayal trained them. Loneliness focused them. They didn't heal. They evolved. They stopped asking why and started asking what next. You're not here to feel better. You're here to become dangerous, not to others, but to your past self. 8. Masculine frame begins at the turning point. This is the beginning of your masculine frame. No emotional chasing, no need to be understood, no explanation for who you've become. People feel it in your energy. You speak less, you observe more. Your presence fills the room because it no longer needs to. This is the era of your neutral dominance. 9. Don't chase peace. Become it. Most people want peace, but they look for it in places of noise. But you become peace by simplifying, by detaching, by removing every distraction that dims your focus. When peace lives inside you, you become untouchable. You no longer fear what they'll say. You no longer crave what they won't give, because you've become the source. 10. You owe no one an explanation for who you're becoming. They'll ask, why are you so quiet now? Why don't you talk to us anymore? Why did you change? Don't answer, because the Stoic man knows, the higher you rise in consciousness, the less explaining you'll do. Your glow-up is silent. Your revenge is private. Your transformation is invisible until it becomes undeniable. 11. The man who walks alone creates his own legacy. You'll walk alone now. Not because no one understands you, but because you finally understand yourself. Solitude sharpens you. Isolation forges you. Focus elevates you. You don't chase popularity. You build power. Let the world laugh. Let the women ignore. Let the friends fade. You're walking into a storm, but this time you're not afraid, because now the storm fears you. This is where everything changes. This is your turning point, where the man who was dies, and the man who could be is born. No applause, no witnesses, just discipline, silence, mastery. And when the world sees you again, they'll say, you've changed. You're different. You've become cold. But you'll know the truth. You didn't become cold. You became clarified. Don't look back. Don't explain. And don't soften again. You've reached the turning point, where only the powerful version of you survives. Subscribe for more powerful Stoicism and psychology. Comment Stoic if you agree.